Shadows of the Damned is a very peculiar game. It's funny because 15 years ago this game would have been pretty standard, because games like this were a dime a dozen 10-15 years ago, I would say, from my experience. Like, there were plenty of crazy wacky games like this one, still made by Japanese developers. So 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this will kind of have gone under the radar, which is honestly, which kind of did, because I remember like hearing about this game only because a friend of mine told me, because otherwise I had no idea something like this was coming out. So here we are. Now in 2024, Shadows of the Damned is as relevant as ever, because they don't make games like this anymore, honestly. And I mean, to tell you the truth, a game like this will never, ever, ever be made today. Like, not even by pure chance, because this game, there's just too much offensive language, too much offensive imagery. The gameplay, I mean, is fine. It's fun. It's not perfect. I'll tell you why in a bit. But I will say, like, if you wanna remain on the generic, the gameplay is very fun. Definitely is from a bygone era in which inputs took precedence over everything. The gameplay is snappy. There's no like aim's way, inertia bullshit. You press a button, the character reacts immediately, just the way I like it. The controls are snappy. The aim is precise. You aim in a point, you shoot in a point. So the gameplay is very arcade in this sense. Now, what made me want to play this game again after all this time? Because honestly, I had forgotten about this game. Because I mean, I did enjoy it back in the day when I played it, but it just got lost in my memory, also because of my like personal issues. 10 years ago was not a very, actually 13 years ago was not a very fun period for me, so I kind of forgot about a lot of stuff. But the game, I have good memories of this game for sure. And I'm making this video, I picked it up again only because the remaster is coming out, and that reminded me, oh fuck, there's this game, I forgot about it. So like, when the remaster is coming out, buy this game, because it's worth definitely buying. I mean, I think it's gonna be $20. So, spoiler, yes, there's a remaster coming. Buy the remaster if you enjoy these types of games. Now, let's talk about the game in depth. Starting from the story, or I mean, the story setting, whatever. The story is very simple. It's one of those stories that is there just as an excuse, I would say. But I have to say that the setting, the characters, the writing is very interesting, because the game takes place 99% in the underworld, so in hell, pretty much. You're in hell. You're a demon hunter, Garcia fucking Hotspur. Yeah. And you're accompanied by your partner, which is Johnson, an ex-demon, which is now acting as a tool, as a dual tool, helping Garcia. He can turn in pretty much everything: weapons, vehicles, objects. So he's helping Garcia in his quest. His quest is to find his girlfriend, Paula, which has been kidnapped by the Lord of the Demons. So pretty much the strongest demon. I guess he is this universe Satan. and he has kidnapped Paula as retribution for all the demons Garcia has slain. And so, yeah, he brings her in the underworld, in hell. Fleming is the lord of the demons' name. So you pretty much go there immediately after a short section in your apartment in which you're trying to save Paula, which is a little bit scummy because the game considers chapter 1 this level, which is a pretty much tutorial, but it's considered a whole chapter, even though it's just barely a level. And in the next level, you'll be starting at chapter 2. So the game starts from chapter 2. It's there's I think 5 chapters, but technically they are 4 chapters because the first chapter is pretty much non-existent. But yeah, I was saying the game doesn't take itself too seriously because I mean, you're gonna see when you play it, but there's a lot of jokes, a lot of innuendos and all that stuff. Of course, there are serious moments too, but the game is very fun. It's very tongue-in-cheek, kind of like they used to write games back then. It's not a super serious game like, I don't know, let's say God of War Ragnarok takes itself too fucking seriously and then ends up being cringe. But it also depends on your sense of humor. If you don't like crude humor, raunchy humor, then this game maybe is not for you.
Look out, Ted! Hurry! Hit him with the light shot!
You know shooting a goat would banish the darkness.
How did you not know? Some demon hunter, I say.
Just warn me if I have to fuck a horse to unlock a door, huh?
You have to fuck hours. Because there's a lot of swear words, a lot of insults. And like I said, a lot of sexual jokes, innuendos and all that stuff. So keep that in mind. But I personally love this kind of stuff. Because, I mean, gaming is a mature hobby. So why the fuck do you get offended by this stuff? It's fun. Don't have a stick up your ass, honestly. And if I had to compare the writing in this sense, in terms of being offensive, I guess to everything and everybody, I guess I will compare it to God Hand because it has that kind of attitude of no fucks given throughout the whole game. So if you like God Hand, definitely this game is up your alley in terms of mood and writing. The characters also are pretty interesting, I would say, even though they don't get fleshed out very much. But I think they managed to create a very interesting setting. Also because I like the depiction of the underworld they went with. The enemies are the basic enemies. I don't know, are kind of hit and miss art style wise. Some of them, the basic ones remind me of the zombies from House of the Dead. Some of them, which definitely helps with the atmosphere because I love House of the Dead. Then there's the main demons, the VIPs, how the game likes to call them. There are 6 VIPs. I won't spoil all of them, but I think they are pretty unique. It's definitely not the type of enemies you've already seen in games. Their personality, background, story is very unique. Each one of them has its own fairy tale narrated in the game right before you meet them. So it's very interesting in this sense. Also the enemy's design is very cool. Especially, I don't know, I think Fleming, which is, like I said, the Lord of the Demons, looks very cool. With his, with his giant tonfa, which he likes to compare to a cock. You will do that multiple times. This is the kind of humor you expect from this game. In terms of gameplay, it's very simple. It's pretty much a mixture of Gears of War and Resident Evil 4. From Gears of War, it takes the basic gameplay and the movement, so you can shoot and move. You can dodge, like in Gears of War, sort of, with a roll. And like I said, the gameplay is very snappy. The Resident Evil 4 part instead is the camera is very Resident Evil 4-like. And also the laser sight, which is, I mean, pretty much what it was in Resident Evil 4. Also, there's a 180 degrees quick turn, just like it was in Resident Evil 4. So you can definitely see Mikami's influence in this sense. So I like to consider this game as the Resident Evil 5, what Resident Evil 5 should have been in terms of gameplay, in my opinion. Also because Shinji Mikami had a part in this game, so I guess he gave it a bit of his imprinting in this sense. So the gameplay is very fun. The shooting feels punchy, beefy. There's a decent variety of weapons, which are very unique. The weapons themselves are demonic weapons. It's pretty much Johnson turning into all the weapons. There are three. Basically, there are three weapons, but you can you get upgrades from them throughout the game. So there's basically the pistol, the basic pistol, the shotgun, and a machine gun. There's, I mean, you can say a sniper is missing in this game, and effectively, yeah. But I don't think you really need it. Not every game needs to have a sniper. The weapons there are pretty much perfect in the sense they cover all the situations. Also, thanks to their upgrades, you will be able to manage all the situations, crowd control, single enemies, bosses. The upgrade system is kind of similar to Resident Evil 4, but without all the restrictions, in the sense that you have all the power-ups available from the beginning, so you just get to choose which aspect of your weapon you want to upgrade. So you upgrade by using red gems that you can either find in levels or buy at the merchant. And the merchant is also another funny guy. He's a weird as fuck guy. I think he has a British accent. But yeah, you can buy, of course, at the merchant, you can buy health, ammunitions, and of course these gems, these red gems. And another interesting aspect this game has are the boss battles, which I have mentioned before with VIPs. But the boss battles are pretty varied and interesting in terms of gameplay. And also in terms of combat, overall combat, there's a lot of combat puzzles in the game. So it's not just straight up shoot, shoot, shoot. No, there's actually quite a few combat puzzles in the game. So it definitely is not your mindless shooter. You'll have to use your grey matter every now and then. I mean, it's nothing too complicated, but it is there, so I think it's worth mentioning. Now, I said before there is quite a bit of sexual innuendos in this game, and I did also say that this game will never be made today, and I stand by my statement, because if you take a look at the stuff this game has in it, like there's a whole section, the fourth act, to be precise, in which there's full-on nudity, like at least in the 360 version. I don't know if the remaster is gonna be censored, but in the 360 version, there were straight up boobs. The game showed boobs and ass. I did play the 360 version emulated to capture the footage to make this video, so keep that in mind. Because there's a possibility that the remaster will be censored, but I hope not, because I want to buy it if it's cheap enough. So, and yeah, I think this alone makes this game very unique, because like this game, you can tell this game was made by straight people. Like I'm not the type of person who says, haha, I'm straight, haha, look how cool I am. I don't, honestly. It's whatever. But the amount of cock, dick jokes, and all that stuff this game has is pretty remarkable, I have to say. Some of them are funny, some of them not really, but I would say overall it's promoted because it's a game made with passion and fun. You can tell the people who made this game were having fun making it. And also, this game like has the soundtrack that was made by Akira Yamaoka, so like this game had an interesting group of artists, of creators working on it, because Shinji Mikami, Suda51 and Akira Yamaoka, insomma, like it's kind of a dream team in a way. So it's definitely unique because there's this bunch of creative Japanese people who now I don't think they even make games anymore. I don't know. I mean, Shinji Mikami is kind of retired at this point. Suda51, I don't think I've ever played many Suda51 games, and Akira Yamaoka used to create the soundtracks for Silent Hill, so it's, even if it's maybe not up your alley, I think this game is something that is worth trying, even just for that. Now, the game of course is not perfect because it has a few issues, namely I will say the camera is a bit too close, and I don't think there's gonna be an FOV slider in the remaster. I think it's gonna be a straight up port. So it's gonna have all the issues of the console version, except probably not the frame rate, because I assume the remaster is gonna run at 60 FPS. So like I said, the camera, the controls on the console version, at least emulated, feel a bit jank sometimes, a bit unresponsive, because of course the frame rate is not perfect on 360, and also I assume the emulator adds a little bit of lag. But if you play it native at 60 FPS, the game is gonna feel even better. I mean, I still think it's very reactive, it's very snappy, but it's, like I said, probably because of the emulator, it's not perfect. And also another issue I will say is that on hard the enemies are a bit of bullet sponges. When you get to the few last levels in the game, you'll find yourself running out of ammo very often. So you'll have to go around and scavenge for ammunitions, or you'll have to wait for ammunitions to respawn. Because yeah, ammunitions do respawn when you are in a combat room, for example, and you run out of ammunition in a combat room. Of course, you'll have to do something so the game has ammunitions respawn, so at least you can complete the combat, the fight. I will also say the length is an issue, sort of, because the game is quite short. It doesn't last very long, but at least it is counterbalanced by the fact that the remaster is not gonna be too expensive. so it's not a full price game. And one last issue is that sometimes the game gets a little bit too gimmicky with its level. Mostly it's chapter 4, definitely the worst chapter in that sense. But yeah, this game is very, I mean, it's weird because it's interesting. It's a mishmash of interesting concepts, both in terms of writing, but also in terms of gameplay. It even has the melee. It's not the same type of melee in Resident Evil 4, but the melee is also pretty strong in this one. There's a different mechanic tied to it, because you can stun enemies with the light shot, which is pretty much a tool you can also use to solve some puzzles. But mostly in combat, the light shot will serve you to stun enemies. And when you stun an enemy with a light shot, you run towards him, and you press the melee button, you can just kill it immediately. I think it only stands for the regular enemies though. But yeah, that's pretty much very reminiscent of the melee in Resident Evil 4, just in a different way. There's also a melee charge shot that you can, of course, charge by pressing the button down. And you can level up the charge to make it faster, and that also kills enemies in one hit if you manage to charge it to completion and touch one enemy with it. Hit one enemy at least. So the melee in this game allows you to pretty much decimate the basic enemies with one hit. So overall, in my book, this game is promoted because it's very fun. It's from an era in which people were making games didn't give much of a fuck about offending people, which is something that's pretty much gone nowadays. So even just to remember the good old days, I say you should buy and play this game, because if you like those types of games that they used to make back in the day, you won't regret this. So, and also if you want to support, like I said, these games, definitely buy the remaster. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and as usual, let me know your thoughts. Put a like, subscribe, and all this stuff, all the cool stuff. But yeah, see you soon. Bye bye.